Okay, so welcome back. I'm gonna continue my casting and sculpting escapades. So we're gonna repeat the stuff we did last time. So we've got a bunch of stuff here that we're gonna try to cast. I guess we're gonna do it in 2 phases because that's easier. Well, it's easier to control, like, so I'm gonna do that. Let's see, wait. Let's pelvis. Yeah, so we'll do the body, the pelvis. Let's see, and I think we'll do the hands and feet and the sword. And the Y part second, or the hip joint. So this should be what? I think it's 20 a piece, or 20 total. Maybe it's like 25, 26. And then the pelvis is, sorry, I gotta check my notes. 10. I think I did 40 last time and it was too much. So I'm gonna do 30. I'm still working out the numbers, trying to get like the amounts down. So I need an overflow mold. I guess we'll just use the sword blade as the overflow mold. If we have more than, if we need more than 30, which 10, 20, and then these are each 10 or 10 together. Glare. Oh, so maybe it is 40. Okay, so we'll do 10, 20. Seems like they shouldn't be the same amounts, but these are like 16. So what is that? 10, 20, 36. Okay. Yeah, we'll try 36, 35, 36. It's a little closer, but it's not quite 40. It's tough to like measure the numbers like as you're casting because just like the limited time you have to mix everything and get it into the molds and get them into the pressure tank. It feels pretty like tight, so it can be hard to remember to like, you know, keep checking the syringe and see like, well, how much did I use and how much is left. And I know I kind of did it last time, like vocally, but I got distracted, so I forgot to write it down. This mold's been kind of a bitch to get out of here. I think I'm actually just going to cut part of this off because Yeah, it's a little thick. I don't want to go down to the surface. I still want there to be like a division, or like a wall, essentially, just a small like lip around the top. So that in case the resin does flow up above, it's not gonna like spill onto the table. Yeah, it's like really thick right there, so it becomes hard to move that whole wall. It's a little bit better. It's just less I have to like pry my fingers down past to get access to the mold itself. Because this thing shifted when I was making it, so it's like off center, so it can be difficult to get like a grip on it. And of course, it's like the back wall, right? Can't really cut through that, so whatever, it's fine. All right, so I gotta dust all these with mold release. I'll just do all the open halves first. Well, they're all open halves. Hey, I'm Collings and crew. Thanks for the raid. Sorry, I was like trying to take my respirator off at the same time. I'm molding a bunch of parts for one of my figures. So this is like one of my test guys. So I'm doing the 2-part torso, 2-part pelvis, and then I'm gonna do these parts today, and then later today I'm gonna do more of the parts. So it's like a 3-phase process to like mold everything, or cast everything rather. So I was just doing like mold release stuff. Sorry about the bot. I'm still learning how to configure that. I am just kind of learning it as I go, so it does that kind of stuff. I think I have it set to like subscribers don't get penalized, because I've pretty much only had regulars up until like right now. But I'll have to set up like a special role or something for people coming from friend. Let's see. So I use like 2 different resins for my stuff. So I'm gonna use Task 9, which is like a high impact dyeable resin. So I was just figuring out like the amounts and stuff that I need, because I'm trying to do like a series. So I've got I'm trying to make like 12 of the same figure in different color schemes. So I have to kind of like plan ahead of like what I'm doing and in what phases and all that. My this guy's just gonna be, I'm doing all black right now, so it's gonna be 2 runs of this. So it's gonna be this black and red scheme. This is a test color, so it's gonna be black, and then I'm gonna do another set that's black and red. It's like an homage to another Masters of the Universe figure that people seem to like. So sorry, give me a second. I got all flustered, or not flustered, sorry, but overwhelmed by the attention. Can you show the orange mold in the background that has the chunks? Yeah, these are just it's just excess like scrap silicone, so you can like mix it into a mold to like, you know, give it a second life. So if you have molds that like, you know, die on you or like don't come out quite right, you can like reuse it in a way. I don't do it as much as I should, but and then all this stuff, this is all brush on silicone, so sometimes I repair molds, and I like have so this guy, like, I had to cut it open to get the first half out, and then I used the brush on to like basically glue it back together. So there's a lot of different like ways you can approach stuff. What was I thinking? It was going to be 10, 20, 36. I think I'm going to do like 36 mLs of resin. Sorry, my usual group is like 2 or 3 people, so I'm not quite used to having like a big full chat. Sorry if I reach in front of the camera a lot. I got a small workspace here, so I got to do the best I can with Jenga-ing everything around. So is it 36, right? So I guess we'll just do 40 and it'll just be 20. I'm still trying to get my numbers right. So I have like, sometimes I have a little too much I mix up, so I'm trying to get like better about having all that correct. You like the Franken Vibes mold? Thanks. Yeah, it's a lot of like, you know, DIY and learning it as you go and learning by making mistakes and stuff. Hey, Dastinus, yeah, it's lots of pushing clay. When I'm building molds, I do like a clay positive for the first half, so then there's a lot of that happens. I like used to get frustrated making molds because it was like, you know, time consuming, and I kind of got to a point where I was like, well, I just gotta try to have fun with this because it's like a necessary part of the process. And you know, if you get too like down on one part, it can kind of drag the whole thing down. You're an expert in faulty math. Alright, I'm like trying to increase my efficiency too, so I'll try to respond as much as I can while also kind of staying on track. Because I've been pretty bad about like optimizing my efficiency. That's right, I gotta add a little bit of white to this. So I use 2 different resins, and one is like it has like a very slight like translucent quality to it, so it has like a slight bluish look, and so when I do the 2 different ones, they come out slightly different. I can show you some examples in a little bit. So I'm trying to see if I can color match these a little bit more by adding a little bit of white first. I'm trying to get into like a more regular habit of, not habit, I guess it's the wrong word. I always like underestimate how much resin I've got. I'm like, this seems like it's not enough, but then this container is really big. 12, 14, 10. This is my first ever raid, so I'm both humbled and also a little overwhelmed. Yeah, Ola, the resin's it's a 2-to-1. It's actually 1-to-1. It's like equal parts 1-to-1. You could do like there's a weight version you can do, but it also just works 1-to-1 by volume. Smooth-On has kind of a mixed reputation for like quality, but as far as like a usability point of view, it's pretty easy to use their stuff. A lot of their stuff is 1-to-1. I don't know how many of you guys paint analog, but there's a lot of cleaning. I do a lot of cleaning of my tools in between because I try to get the most life out of everything. And a lot of the resin cast community is kind of a disposable, like paper cups and popsicle sticks and all that, and that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna like cramp anyone's style, but I'm always trying to mitigate how much like waste I create. But yeah, if you like paint, you know, with actual paint, or just even like paint models or whatever, you know, there's a lot of like cleaning your brushes and all your mixing pans and stuff. So I do a lot of the same thing. So I'm trying to get like a slightly, like a smoky, translucent black. It's kind of hard to match colors across casts because, you know, you're just doing it manually, so there's no like, there's always a little bit of fluctuation in the colors. But that's also like part of the fun. But it's like it's both a precise and a messy art at the same time. You never clean your stuff, Ola? I mean, that, from what you're saying, like trying to get the texture out of it, that makes sense though, because it's like, it's serving you a purpose, and with a palette knife you could just like, you could really just scrape it off, you know, if you wanted to. So there's like, you've got that fallback. Resin's a bit more unforgiving. But it doesn't really stick to these containers, which is nice. But they still kind of break down over time. Actually just filled this thing back up, so it's probably a little over full. Try not to spill it. Oh, that's right, I had a set of casts in before I started today, so I gotta pull those out so I can reuse the pressure tank. I gotta put stuff in to post-bake, because I do like a secondary bake. When I take stuff out of the mold, I will put it in a toaster oven and like bake it a little longer so it cures really fast. So I'm trying to like build a system of like rotating things in and out. So as soon as I get something out of the tank, I can take a piece out of the oven and put that in and kind of get the tank ready again. Sorry, yeah. Some of my stuff is off camera, obviously, but. So I got a whole batch of molds here I'm gonna open. Once I gotta bake them and then let them cool, and then I'll open all this stuff up. So if any of you guys are still around later, it'll be something to see. So I gotta go pop these in the oven. I'll be right back. I mean, I'm still here. I gotta take my headphones off. So to me, it feels like I'm leaving the space, even though I'm really just turning around. Okay. Just putting them in the oven kick the thermo process quicker. Much quicker. I bake them for like 10-12 minutes at like 150, and then let them cool down to room temperature, and they're pretty much like totally cured. You have to let them cool back down though, because if you don't, like, oops, sorry, they're still a little soft. So if you pull them out like while they're still warm, they could deform. I mean, that might be intentional. It gives you like a window, depending on what you're casting, of course. But yeah, it's just a junky, like, you know, kitchen toaster oven, so it's nothing fancy. But it gets the job done. And once I like learned I could do that, it really changed things, because I was having to wait like an entire day for like stuff to finish curing. And now that I can put stuff in the oven, it's like, you know, I can crank through 3 sets of molds in a day. It still takes time for all the like cleaning and casting and changing, and there's still like some waiting. It just really cuts down the final cure. Live in the Rockies, so it gets cold as fuck in the garage. Yeah, well, I don't know if you've noticed that, M. Collings, that the resin, like, it cures more slowly in the cold, so it's like if you need a longer work time, that cold environment's actually good, because you can make it work to your advantage. Whereas, like, I'm in Phoenix, so I'm in the desert, so it's very hot. So I can actually, like, fortunately we have air conditioning, because otherwise you would die. But it can like make the process a little bit faster than you would like. I gotta pop on my respirator, so it's gonna be. I'll sound a little muffled, but I got a little icon here to tell you that I'm wearing it. So I don't think your sound is off or anything. You had a large number that never mixed or cured properly and stopped casting because you got frustrated. That's understandable. Yeah, then you could definitely try the oven. Because the oven should accelerate the cure. Only you were saying you have the advantage of being hot and dry. Live somewhere that gets hot and damp and it makes curing a pain. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the other side of it. Thanks. Yeah, I need to, Dacidus had told me that I need to put a little black outline around it. I just haven't, like, had time. I've been trying to build some other stuff for the stream, and so it's like, you gotta prioritize, you know? Alright, so I'm gonna get ready to cast this stuff, so I gotta go through my pre-flight list to make sure I got everything I need. Because I gotta clean everything, like, as soon as, I get in the tank. So, put some cleaning stuff. Hey, thanks for the follow, KD. And M. Collings. Let's see, so I gotta assemble these things. I'm always, like, a little unsure that the amount of resin I've got is, like, the right amount. So that always freaks me out a little bit before I start.
I'm still trying to find the right amount so I quit like second guessing myself constantly, because that really inhibits productivity. So let's see, this guy, is this guy? Yeah. So is this guy? Okay, so those are all ready to go. Yeah. Gonna get the pressure tank ready. Where's the other test? I guess I'm just gonna use. I guess this is just go into this, and then we'll go in like this order. So I'll go right to left in case I run out. This is the lowest priority one. Alright. I'll just try to make not a huge mess, but probably a bit of a mess. Where's my palette knife at? Once I get this all in, I got a ongoing sculpt project I'm trying to get done. It's like a final accessory for this set of figures. Yeah, it's definitely overfilled. Don't worry about it later. So I gotta wipe this down so I don't transfer A to B too soon. Put it off to the side. Right. It does request an offering. It gets very needy. I'm not sure where the leak is. I thought the pressure switch was going, but I'm not really sure. Alright. Sorry, like I said, I do a lot of cleaning to the distaste of some, but, you know, I gotta do what works for me. Alright, let's hope my math is right. Let's do this guy. That's one. Looks like my math is off. Yes, yes, I hear you. This one leaks out the side, which is a little frustrating. I'm not sure. I don't think I've got enough. I'm still trying to get my numbers right, and of course I'm off, but it's fine. Guess I will just do this one because it's smaller. Or not. It's not an exact science. Might have gotten one full one out of that. And then I try to save my excess. So I use this for sculpting material. I use it to build vents and filler, and so I try to save all the resin that I don't use. Well, I mean, I've used it, so I try to like save it in a way that I can get use out of it later instead of just throwing it away. Alright, I'm gonna put this stuff all in that pressure tank. I'm gonna feed the beast. Feed me, Seymour. He's fed after I put that in. Oh well. Hey, thanks, Katie. Yeah, and I'll be here for you until I pop them back in. I'll try to run like 4 hours. Actually, I can take this mask off now.
Ugh. I don't mind wearing the respirator when I'm alone. I mean, I am alone, technically, but the pot has been fed. He's never really totally satisfied, though. Alright, what am I doing? I gotta do this. Now the cleaning phase begins. This is just 99% alcohol. Yeah, dishes are done. So I have to let that stuff cool down before I can pull it out of the tank. Or of the oven. I like resin casting stuff, and well, I mean, it's sculpting and all that too. But it's like part engineering and science like mixed into art, so it's pretty fun. Even if it is like frustrating at times. I've made lots and lots of mistakes over the years. But I feel like I'm finally kind of getting to a point where I'm not terrible at this. Just trying to work on getting more efficient. Both with like, you know, getting over procrastination and finding like ways to be more efficient. Pot has been satiated. Your sacrifice has been accepted. This is very true. He is a fickle and forgiving God. What art is but frustration persevering? That's pretty accurate. Yeah, if I don't know, if I was a smarter person, I probably would have stopped doing this, because, you know, it's got its moments where kind of want to just bang your head against the wall, but definitely the perseverance pays off. Let's see, so I have to get the next set of stuff ready. Oh, that's the wrong lid. not even done yet. That's just the first pass. This is like my only issue with streaming. Like, I do enjoy it because it motivates me to like work on stuff, and it gives me like a schedule, which is helpful. Yeah, sure, Ola, I'll be here. But like, you know, it's moments like this, right, where I gotta like wipe everything down and do all that stuff, and it doesn't make for like that interesting of television, or watching, or however we're gonna, whatever we're gonna call this experience of the Twitches. But growing up, my dad was a stonemason, so he like was very into take care of your tools and they'll take care of you and all that, because he would like, you know, work all day and then spend like an hour cleaning all of his tools. So I kind of follow the same thing. It's like, otherwise, you know, I'm just going to be buying things over and over again because they're too dirty to use. But once I finish cleaning this stuff up, it shouldn't take too much longer. I'll break out my funky little hair sculpt thing I'm working on. He's an experience I'm trying to get better with. That one's too full. I appreciate the cat eyes watching. My office door is open, so I assume I'll get a cat visitor at some point, if not more than one. I feel like I'm juggling a bunch of stuff when I'm doing this, which I guess I am. Okay. That's all more or less good for now. Put all this stuff away. And then I can get on my little sculpting project. Sorry, I think this mat's a little gross. The stuff gets very like tacky, so that's why I'm frequently wiping stuff down. So if you do work with resin, 99% alcohol is a pretty good cleaner. I don't know why I took this off because I'm going to put it back on. This is my little guy I'm working on. He's so the head is I sculpted from scratch, and the hair is my first attempt at sculpting hair, which doesn't look awesome at the moment. It's kind of a mess, but I'm just kind of learning as I go and trying to have fun with it. Off because I realized I have to use the Apoxie sculpt, and you gotta have gloves on when you use that stuff. Safety gear is important, but it also sucks. So I fumble off screen with my gloves. gonna grab a little bit of water for this stuff. I'll be right back. That was fast. Yeah, absolutely. So this is another thing I'm like learning how to use. I was looking for something that was, I don't know, I don't want to say better than, different than Sculpey Firm, which is what all the gray stuff is. And so I had read people in like modeling form, like miniatures and stuff, liked epoxy sculpt, so I bought some of it. And I mean, I like it. It's definitely something you gotta get used to. I had used green stuff before, which is like this, but not quite as good. And so this was another thing where I started using it, and I was like, this stuff's great, but it takes like a whole day to cure. Turns out, it doesn't. You can put it in your toaster oven for the same amount of time, 150 degrees for 10 minutes, fully cures it. So that was another revelation that helped a lot. I just learned that recently, like a month or so ago, so it's been really helpful. Alright, so what I'm doing is I initially sculpted it. I like just was layering these like tendrils of hair. Ended up using milliput to fill 3D print lines. Yeah, that's another thing I had seen suggested was milliput. But between the Apoxie Sculpt, the green stuff, and the Sculpey Firm, and I have another like hard clay that's non-hardening. I was like, I've got enough things to learn. I'm just gonna stick with these. So what I'm basically trying to do is fill in all the space. I broke a bunch of these off because, you know, they're super fragile. So I'm trying to just build up the like underside of all this empty space here, and then a lot of the strands I broke off, I'm just gonna carve like grooves or drill holes and then glue them in, and then I'll do like another pass on top of them to try to like smooth it all out and define the texture and stuff. Because I hadn't sculpted hair before, I didn't really know where to start, and of course I turned to YouTube because, you know, that's what we all do, and watched, you know, maybe a dozen different hair sculpting tutorials, and of course, and I just broke another one. And of course everyone does it differently, so it's been a bit of a process. So just like everything else that I'm doing for the first time or isn't quite going as smoothly as I would have liked, I try to just have fun with it instead, because, like, you know, what's my other alternative? Just keep starting over again? Because eventually you'll, like, you know, get a hang of the material and get a better idea how to, like, get the look you're trying to go for, and you just gotta give it, you know, give it some time. So I try to do that. It's like even the best of us, you know, the best artists, they all started out kind of bumbling around and trying to figure it out. I did pick a tricky hairstyle. Don't talk smack on my emo barbarian, okay? He's very sensitive. He may pillage his enemies, but he still has feelings. Yeah, I mean, I have some ideas of how I would do this differently next time, but I'm definitely not gonna scrap what I've got. I'm just gonna make it, keep working with it till I get it to something that I like, which it'll get there eventually. I'm confident. The head sculpt took 3 passes before I was happy with it, so oh, I guess I could take that respirator thing off. I forgot that was on. Yeah, so in between casting waves, I'm trying to get this guy done because this is the last part of this figure is this hair sculpt. So I kind of need to get it done. But at least I can get other parts of it built up while I'm, you know, working out the final look of this, or getting it to its final adjacent stage. Let's see. So I could build this up here, because it's going to need a space for that to rest on. Particular area doesn't want to really stick to anything, which is weird. This stuff usually adheres pretty well. Ah, I broke another one. God bless America, come on. Got a little pile of all my broken hairs over here. Yeah, I should have started this like sooner, but this hair actually rests on, it's built on like a skull cap, because I wanted the hair to be removable, because the whole figure snaps together, so it's kind of like a kit, like and you can like, ideas you can interchange parts with like other figures that I would make. So there's you know, there's like joints and whatnot, and snap pegs and ball joints, and so this is supposed to be removable, so you can either change like the look of your person, or you know, when I eventually get to like making like helmets and stuff, then you can, you know, swap it out and have the same like face underneath. So that would be fun. It's like more of an engineering challenge to get it to like work, but I thought it would be a little more fun in the end. I just broke another one. I really need to move this head onto something else that I can, I gotta make like a little stick or something I can hold instead of this body. But this works for now. too much water. Supposedly there's some other material you can use with epoxy sculpt, some kind of a solvent. I can't remember what it's called, but I haven't tried that yet. Maybe I'm thinking of Cosclay. There's another guy that I follow. He's I think he just does commission sculpts, but he does like big stuff, like 1/6 scale and larger. Well, I guess it's not necessarily larger because dragons aren't, 1/6 scale. But his username is C Knot Brush, like the letter C NOT brush, and he uses this material called Cosclay, which is another gray synthetic clay. But I guess it behaves more like monster clay, where you have to like heat it up to use it, and it gets very hard when it cools down. I haven't tried using anything like that yet. But he's pretty interesting if you're into sculpting and whatnot, and are looking for someone else to check out. There are not a lot of actual sculptors on Twitch, from what I've seen. Especially not ones doing like figures and stuff. And if there are, I just don't know about them. So feel free to share if you know of any that you like. Now this is a bit of a lull from like coming into the mid casting segment, but we'll get back to that. I have to wait for the stuff in the tank to cure before I can switch anything out. I think it's still got another like 30-40 minutes on it. So I sculpt stuff in between casts. I got more projects pending. I'm just trying to focus everything on getting this figure done, because it's taken a bit longer than I had hoped, but I'm still happy with the result overall. Let's see how this experiment goes. So I can put this guy in the oven once he's done, or once I finish this like little clump of epoxy sculpt. Well, I'll probably actually put more of it on. I'm not quite ready to put him in the oven just yet. Here. This underside really should have put more layers in here before I built up above it, because now it's going to be kind of hard to fill all this. Where's my drink? Okay. Looks like about the right amount. That's good. Should probably just get some bigger chunks in here so I can get this done a little quicker. I think I would probably follow something similar next time, but I would probably just do like larger strands, I guess. Like I was doing, you know, I was thinking like about it like hair, which is probably the mistake that I made. I should have been thinking about it like a volume. And kind of chunked in like large snakes of clay to define like the general shape, and then I could have gone and added like smaller pieces around it. So now I'm kind of working in reverse, where I'm trying to fill in the space instead of like just adding on to it. What I should probably do is like kind of build it up under the strands, almost like walls, and then I can fill in around that. Because once the epoxy sculpt is cured, it's like very hard, so I can just kind of carve away where I need to, or carve in detail. I'm used to working subtractively instead of additively, so that's like a thing I'm struggling with to change. What's up, Sabretooth? You missed my first raid. I don't know how many people are still hanging out, but If you are, thanks for the participating in said raid. So that was both exciting and terrifying at the same time. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I'm also on this creative Discord started by Ray Frenden. He just goes by Frenden, Frenden. So a lot of people on there also do like art streams. So when they're gonna jump off, they'll like raid someone. They'll see who else is online and raid them. So I got my first raid. Pretty cool. I guess Camp tried to do it like way back, but I had it turned off because I didn't know what raiding was. I thought it was some like game thing. But I'm a dummy, so you know, I don't know nothing about nothing. Hey, Sabretooth, could you actually do me a favor? Crumbs had asked me, he replied to one of the comments in the creative discussion, and I was in the middle of casting, and then I had to get on here because it was like about time. And so he sent me a message, and I haven't been able to respond to it, and I won't be able to respond to it till like, you know, after 6. I think he was asking like what I wanted him to do or something like that. I basically need him to start up the Zoom because I have a free plan, so I don't have like the, you know, unlimited time. I could probably log in with my partners she has through school or whatever, but it would be, you know, I'd have to change all her settings, and I don't really want to do that. So I need him to set up the Zoom and post the invite link, and then I could just moderate it, like, you know, once we're all in, and then he can just sit back if he wants to. Thanks, man, I appreciate that. I just don't know how easy it'll be for me to, like, you know, coordinate it all with him, like, before it gets too close to the time. So I figured if I could get, you know, if I could proxy a message to him, that would be helpful. Sorry, that was a little off-topic chatter. There's like a segment of the Instagram Resin toy community, toy artists, and we started doing these creative discussions. Well, they were organized by another person who goes by Crumbs Blunt, and he's kind of a facilitator, like just a fan. He's an artist like in his own right, but he just doesn't make toys. And so we've been having these. They've been mostly have been weekly, like on Friday nights. And so he had asked me if I would be interested in helming one of them. So that's what we're kind of talking about, is trying to get the logistics all figured out for that. It's a hot mess. Six. I wonder if I could just glue some of these on and then build around them. That's the front one, okay. I really just need to like, it's not really enough to stick it to, so I feel like I gotta build up more. Is there enough I could just hold on to this? Do the underside. See if I can remove this without breaking more of these. That's a little bit better, at least I got access to the bottom. I'm just gonna try not to drop it. I guess that's consistent enough. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. That's probably too much. If I try to just build up the space in between, I could probably make it look a little bit better. Try to just get this down in between these like inner strands without breaking them off. I should have made a wire like undercarriage armature. That was like another thing I thought about doing after I had already gotten like too far into it. It's like that would have been genius, but no. We don't do genius here. We do like slightly incompetent. But we still surprise ourselves sometimes. Trying to fill in. There's like a deep space right here. I feel like that could be a liability if I leave it as like empty air. And I'll have to fill it eventually because, like M. Collins was saying earlier, you can't leave like a lot of empty spaces because, you know, your silicone would get into them and it'll be a huge mess. It's like you gotta try to make it look like it's got an underside, that it's not, you know, one continuous surface. So you gotta like make your sculpt kind of hide that fact. Give the appearance of like, I don't want to say volume, that's not the right word. But that it's like layered instead of just being a solid piece, like beyond the surface. What up, Brendan? I'm trying to poorly sculpt hair, so you know this is the first time I've done it, so it's an adventure. So we're learning, and you know we're bumbling a little bit, but that's okay. You gotta bumble to learn. That's his face. I sculpted the head at least, so it's all like original. So I'm just trying to get, you know, a little bit more original stuff every time. And I hadn't quite realized how much of a challenge hair was going to be. Crumbs has the meeting links ready. Awesome. Alright, I'll take a look at that later tonight when I get off stream. See if I can not break any more of these strands off. I try to just build this up like toward them instead of trying to just fill in space. So we can start defining like an overall shape here. Yeah, there we go. Now we're starting to get something. Now we get a stew going. That's what we should have been doing. Building up these ridges. So we'll keep doing that. See where that takes us. We'll do one there. These are the two biggest gaps right here, so I'll work on building this one up too. Need to get Emo Barbarian's hair finished so I can start getting it molded. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge in itself, but I think it'll be doable. This one needs built up too. I should have thought of this yesterday. Could have been halfway done. Yeah, it's coming together. Coming together. I'll have to bake this soon. This is getting to be a pretty large mass of epoxy sculpt. But the underside should be starting to like solidify a little bit. It's been at least a half an hour. I think it's like you get 30 minutes of like this mushy, sticky time before it starts to thicken up. Yeah, fill this stuff in here. Once I finish this little glob up, I think I'm going to take that stuff out of the oven, put this guy in, and then I'll demold. I'll demold that stuff I pulled out earlier. That's the last parts of the previous set I'd started yesterday. I think it's like arms, legs, and I forget. I had to recast the armor because I did it in a hard resin by mistake. So now I've just got one that's sculpt fodder, I guess. So it's way too rigid to put onto the figure. That's good. Use this up here in the front and try to fill this in a little bit. That's all solid. I definitely should have started with an easier hairstyle. For some reason I thought this would be not terribly hard. I guess it's not hard per se, it's more just uncertain. So I have like an image in my mind of what it looks like. So it's seeing like how close do I get to that, you know? That's a little bit better. Alright, I'm gonna put this guy in the oven. I'm gonna cook him up like a pound of bacon. Was you cooking MCs like a pound of bacon? That's what it is. Alright, into the oven for you, you jerk. Right. Now we can do something more fun. We'll open up some molds and see what we got. It's like opening presents. Because you think you know what you got, but you're never totally sure. Let's see, we'll start with, oh, that's the empty one. I guess we'll just go, what, small to big? So we'll do head. That's an excess one. That's a sword handle. These are hands. These are legs, or arms. These are legs, and that is the chest armor. Alright, where's my little pry-in tool? Got this, and those snipping clips. Clip and snips. We gotta check for like flashing. There's a head. This is the second iteration of the head sculpt. This like skull-like guy with teeth that are too low because I had used so many different materials. It looked like what Crumbs calls the rotten banana torso. I gotta figure out how to replicate that look so I can have a Crumbs edition rotten banana figure. Got a head and some scrap. That one away. This is the better looking head. really starting to chew my thumbs up. I gotta figure out a better way to pull these out of here. I think the next set of molds are gonna be 3-part. Like it'll be a traditional 2-part mold, and then I'll have like this outer shell, the sock part. Cause yeah, I'm starting to rip my thumbs up prying these out of here. Yeah, so close. I don't know if that'll help. Guess I won't know till I try. Okay, that looks good. So that's the script. That's the flash. This guy looks, I mean, he's a little, you know, smoky boy, but it's kind of hard to see that stuff on the camera because it's translucent. I was trying to get this guy all done yesterday, but I just ran out of time. So luxurious. The silkiest of gloves. We just need some pry and notches. That doesn't work. Okay. This is the scalp, so I can make more head pieces. I'm thinking of doing a Mando helmet next. Thought that could be fun. Scalp. That fits on there. A bike tool for taking a tire off. I don't know, maybe. That's I have to peep it and see. Nope, that didn't work. Guess we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Push it out the top. Air nozzle on the compressor hose. Blast those castings out of there. Hey, maybe. Gotta show him who's boss. Broke another hair off. God damn it. So this is a sword handle, right? Yeah. I'm only here for the exploding parts and potential for self-injury. Got it. At least you're honest. Got all the scraps, yeah. Yeah, I haven't ripped up my hands before, so that's new. This feels like it's still not fully cured yet. Still seems a little too soft. Alright, now we'll get into the better stuff. If I can't make people laugh with self-mutilation, then what is even the point? What kind of an art world are we even living in? Let's see, snip snip there. Dishes are done. That's good. These are looking okay. A little more flash than I would like, but I am mad. Despite some of the little issues I have here and there, I'm pretty satisfied with these molds overall. Much better results than the set I used last spring, which are getting to be like a real frustration. As like I've made each cast, I was like more and more frustrated having to. I was making like repairs and replacing glass pegs, and it was not a fun time. So that's kind of why I remade all these things, because they were such a problem that getting the 10 figures that I made done was like a mental slog, so I had to fix that, because if I, you know, don't enjoy the process, then I'm not going to want to keep doing it. Oh shit, that just ripped. And that was inevitable. Looks like I'm going to be fixing that. Yep. Sweet. Well, this mold is out of commission until I fix that. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. I kind of had a feeling that was coming though. So, because it tore once and I fixed it, and I was pretty sure it was going to tear again. But I think I can reattach it. I think I can reattach it enough times to get through this run, and then I'll just remake this mold. I wonder... I could probably actually just cut part of this off and like make a new section. I bet I can get away with keeping the general mold and just do a repair. Yeah, I'll think about that. That's more feasible than remaking the whole thing, because the mold overall is good. It's just this peg keeps tearing off. I'm gonna design that out of future molds that use the ball socket, so I shouldn't have that problem in the future. It's one of those things I can remake the mold again, delay myself even further, or just see if I can repair it and utilize it until I'll scrape my other finger. Utilize it, you know, as long as I can, and then retire it when the mold actually like dies. Oh, this peg tore off, so I'm gonna have to fix it for the second time. Yep, you missed it all. This is the third cast I've made of this armor, so I'm curious to see if the air bubble in the front persists. Because I cast in the wrong material yesterday, and there was only one air bubble defect in it, so I want to see if that continues, so I know if I have to like make some cuts to this or not. So sloppy. Let's see. Nope, no air bubbles. Sweet. Schwiggity schway. Let's see how this looks on here instead of the orange. So this thing's not fully cured yet. Maybe I forgot to bake these. I don't know. I mean, it's a little unfortunate the colors aren't all consistent, but that's fine. Thanks, Sabretooth. Yeah, I'm just happy it worked out the way that I planned, with like that I could just like flex it over the arms, you know, instead of having to do the buckle thing, because that was just not a thing I really felt like doing if I could avoid it. Yeah, this needs to be cut off. So this stuff all needs to be trimmed, which I don't think I'm going to do now. At least not in a major fashion. Just cut all the small stuff off. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I like when things work out. Thanks, Tacitus. Yeah, I was. That was the plan, you know. That if I can make this one work, then I can adopt that to other designs, you know, a little later. This needs to be cast. So I've only got half a pelvis. I got a bag here for all the parts. I'm trying to keep like all the same figure parts together, because there's a little bit of like variance in the colors. Actually, this is the wrong one, isn't it? Yeah, this is the original one. So this guy's incomplete. This guy. That's all of it. All of his parts. Alright, Sabretooth, thanks for hanging out. I think I'm gonna bake that again. Bake that again. Sword handle. Bake that. So that's almost a complete figure. I think I need to recast the hip joint. It misaligned, so it's not, I had to pitch it. I'm gonna drop these in the oven again, see if I can get them to fully cure instead of waiting longer. No, it still feels a little soft, but maybe it's just not quite there. That guy's there. I think this might be good. Stuff in the tank, I think I can take it out and then transition it to the oven. I mean, those 3 pieces, I'm baking them again for maybe 8 minutes. I'm gonna switch everything out. Let's see how soft or hard this stuff is. Yeah, this is not. It's not fully cured yet. These are going in the oven. Once that stuff comes out, so I can get ready to do the next section of these pieces. Alright, so these are in queue to go in the oven. So what is that? Pelvis, torso. So then I could do hands and feet. Let's see, hands and feet. Y part, which is this. Hands, feet, Y part. Right, because we did these two. Did the sword handle, or the sword blade. Look at my chart. Hands and feet, torso, Y part, sword blade. So I gotta do the Y part and the hands and feet. Yeah, okay. Sword blade. Alright. Sometimes I gotta just talk through it. Because I use different materials for different purposes, so I have to make sure I use the right one. Otherwise I just end up having to do it over again. Because the upper arms and upper legs are like a softer material, so they allow the pegs and the hands and feet to like snap into them. So I have to make sure that everything is like, you know, where it, the correct material, just to make sure it all like works together when you try to assemble it. So because I did that, I have the excess, right? What is this? This is half a pelvis, isn't it? Yep. So I guess we'll do this, and if it's a little mismatched, then I guess it's a little mismatched. Sorry, I bumped the mic. This guy looks like it's okay, but I'm gonna let this cool down. Because I'll get this stuff in the oven and then I can pick up on this guy again. Yeah, I'll just set him over here. So I gotta take these apart and dust them with mold release. So I replaced, there were plastic pins in this, and I just replaced them with these brass pins because when I cast it yesterday, they didn't align right, and due to the heat, they bent. So they're, instead of making new ones and, you know, possibly having that happen again, I'm just gonna replace them. And I plan to do this anyway. It was just a good a good place to like force the change. Alright. So do the outside ones first, or the inside ones first. I think this one was already done. Okay. So let me refer to my volume chart so I know how much material I need. So the hands and feet are 30. It seems like a lot. I guess it's 6 times 2 times 8 times 2. Yeah, so 30 there. This is 10, so that's 40. And this is probably another 10. So 50. So we need 50 mLs total. This is all still task, harder material. So 25 a piece. So we can mix it in that. So those are now. It can be hard to see the marks on these beakers, so I just find using this like bright colored marker makes it easier. I'm gonna put on my respirator. Safety first. Well, I like my lungs and I like them working, so I like to keep it that way. So I'll put on our little indicator. 25. And then this will add a little bit of white to it to try to match the kind of like cloudy clear that the other one is. Oops. The other material is like a cloudy white. It's probably too much. I used to get really fixated on like trying to make the color exactly the same. But it's so difficult to do it between casts that I try to just like embrace the variance. So I just try to group in parts together, so at least I don't have to sift through a bin and be like, are these the same? Are these the same black? I can't tell.
easier. Oh, those are the white drop. It's a little tougher with that black. It's easier to like miss some of the pigment at the bottom because it's harder to see. So I kind of have to like over stir it. It's also the benefit of these clear beakers, being able to see like stray pigment and stuff like that. Put these all together. The one with the pins is a little bit of a struggle, so I'm going to do that one last. Okay, I think it's in. So we'll do these guys first, then this guy, actually, yeah, and then this guy. Okay. So measure out the part A, prime the beast. Higher mark. Let's see. Yes, thank you. We get it, you're very important. You've got a hunger that needs to be satiated. We'll feed you shortly. That's ready to go. Get this going out. Got all my cleaning stuff ready. Well, this time we're going to transition both of these into one container instead of one into the other. Oops, guess I'm not going to let it clean over. Just gonna make sure the beast is ready when I mix these two together. So much cleaning. It's necessary though, unfortunately. Alright, mix. Gotta fold it in, David. Alright, so we're at 20. Let's see if I can take a note here. So that hand is like 4. That hand's another 4.
output's like 10, so this should be about the same. Yeah. Alright, so the hands are 10, those are 10 apiece. Give me my food! I need your resin inside me. Alright, that's probably 10. This should be another 10. That's like 6. Well, I overestimated. Let's grab a... Fuck you. I just make heads when I have excess resin. Oh, let's hit a... I still got a thing in it. Oops. Guess my numbers were off. Again. So I could shave, what, probably 20 off of that? Alright. Feed the beast. Remember to put this guy in this time. Alright, that's mostly done. Actually, I got to see if I got my I do not. Okay. Forgot to scrape this out into that container, so. Not bad. I'll hail the pressure pot. He is a hungry, needy monster. Feed me all of your resin. Do it now. Do not ask questions. I'm glad I'm entertaining to the cat. I'm actually kind of surprised my cats haven't come up here and bothered me. They usually make an appearance. The pressure pot shall shower us with beautiful toy gifts. I feel like a coal miner with all my gear on. Climbing out of the pit. Had to go down and feed the pressure pot beast in the dungeon. I will convey her welcoming notion. One of my cats, his name is Happy. He is very much that, and likes other cats. He's very affectionate. I have another one who isn't a fan of other cats, and another one who, I don't know, is kind of, if the cat is in the house, he's okay. If the cat is outside the house, it's not welcome. Sorry, this gets a little sloppy when I'm trying to do all this stuff. What time is it? 4:13. We have this weird tree in our yard. It's more like a really big shrub than a tree. It's some kind of like, I think it's like it's got a weird name, it's not a blossom tree, but it's some kind of like Chinese lavender blossom thing. Anyway, so it like grows like up and outward. So it like grows out as you like cut it down, it'll try to grow outward instead of up. And so it gets these like long, kind of thin branches. And we take the cats out in the yard. And Happy has discovered he likes climbing that tree. So that's always fun to watch him try. He like tries to get up close to the birds and never succeeds. I don't think he would know what to do with the bird if he got to it. Happy is he's an orange and white cat. I don't know what like breed he is. He's just like got he's like light orange, and then he has like dark orange stripes, and he's got like white kind of spattered around his face and on his belly and his feet. One is a Russian blue, so he's like all gray with green eyes, and he's very nice. He's not a fan of our other cat, who is named Bowie, and he's like a very light beige. He's like the inversion of Happy. Apparently he's a fire-tipped Siamese, so he's very supposedly they're not friendly, but he's pretty friendly to people. To other animals, not so much. Though he's okay with our other cats. So there's a degree of cat drama. Yeah, he was a stray. Kind of. We're pretty sure we took someone else's cat who didn't like. He just was living on our back porch for like half a year, and he like we like got him neutered and got him his shots, and what else did we do? I think she got him chipped, but then so he like got out because he was like just on the back porch, and we're like, well, we'll just get him, you know, declawed, or not declawed, sorry, neutered. He's not declawed. And so she got this voicemail from someone with this very like blasé, like, hey, thanks for taking care of our cat. His name's Butterball. Bye. No unknown number. No. They took the collar off of him that had his name and our like address and stuff on it. And so we were just like, oh, okay, I guess like he's just not gonna come back again. But he was back the next night, and every night after that. And so we left him outside for like another 4 or 5 months. And over the summer, I was like, I'm just gonna start bringing him in, like, see if he'll get used to our cats. And so we did that. We like brought him in on a leash because he was still like, he was basically an outdoor cat. So he would like attack other cats and get into fights and kill birds and lizards and anything he could get his hands on. So we like just kind of monitored him inside, and he eventually like adapted, and we could let him like his leash be longer and longer, and then let him off for short times, and he eventually just got used to being inside. He still goes outside usually every day, and he usually doesn't go too far though, and he always comes back. So to him this is his home. So I guess I wouldn't say that we stole him, the more that he defected. But we haven't revoked his travel visa, so. Is this stuff all clean? I think I need to clean this thing. Yeah, that's what I assume, is like they either just didn't care about him, or he was clearly like living outside. So it's not like they were, you know, taking great care of him or anything. So yeah, that's how we came to know and love. We named him Bowie because he's got like pale blue eyes, and you know, his like bright fur. And my partner was like, he reminds me of David Bowie, so we started calling him Bowie. And so his nickname is David Bowie Butterball, or DBB. But most often it's just Bowie, because we're trying to get him like used to the name, which he seems to respond to now. This stuff's all quite messy. I should probably go actually wash it with soap and water. See if I can get some of this stickiness off of it. Because even though I'm using like solvents, it all still kind of builds up a gunkiness to it. I'm gonna go wash this stuff off. I'm gonna leave you briefly. I'll be right back. So I'm gonna leave you with Claptrap for a little bit. Thanks for your patience. Sometimes I gotta like full on clean everything. Someday I'll have a little sink or something in here, which will be nice. Instead of having to go to the bathroom and do it all in the sink. I'll try to like put that off as long as I can, because it's, you know, transitioning away isn't the most fun thing to watch, just like a hold screen essentially, but it gets to a point where I just have to take that moment. See if I got anything I can take out of the mold. Like there's got to be a couple of things that are ready to come out. Oops. Take a look at what's going on here. These are probably good. These are good. So I can pull these guys now. So we'll do these guys first because they're a little more fun. Oh wait, I think these were queued to go into the oven. Oops. Yeah, I should actually put these in first. My bad. Get ahead of myself. Okay. Yeah, they gotta bake, and then they'll be good. So this is like more final in like its consistency. So we put these guys away into their group pouch. There's a lot of components to these guys. They're like, I think there are 20 parts. So it's a lot of pieces I gotta make for each one. I can only make like one cycle at a time, because I only have like one pressure pot and one oven. So I have to try to, you know, find like a pace for that. Yeah, I guess that's not water, I thought it was. Sorry, there's always like stray gunk whenever I cast. So I gotta wipe this down. Alright, I guess I gotta wait a little longer on that, so I'm gonna do another pass on this head. Let's see if I can get some more of this mess here made. So I still got some water from earlier. So mix up some more of this epoxy sculpt. Probably do a little bit more than that. The other weird thing about the cat was like, so when those people like, you know, took him back in or whatever, he had a collar on with our phone number and address on it. So they clearly called my partner and, you know, left this ambiguous message. And then must have just thrown the collar away and deleted the call off their phone, because they never bothered to follow up and be like, hey, is my cat at your house again? So that's like more of an indictment for the level of care he was receiving at his previous residence. So it makes me feel less bad, because clearly they didn't care enough to like keep tabs on him. Let's see, where do we go from here? So I'm gonna fill that in. Oh my god, I just keep breaking these things off left and right. Said he's in better care, probably happier for it, and that's all that matters. Yeah, he seems to enjoy living here. He still gets to go outside. You know, we try to supervise him as much as possible. He's got plenty of blankets and snacks. Seems to enjoy that. He seems to like living with the other cats, even if he and Zeus don't really get along. It's mostly just Zeus that can't get over, like, they had one scuffle and he bit him on the butt. Zeus got bitten on the butt, and it's like he's scarred for life, and he's like, I'll never forgive him. It's like, okay, Zeus, you're just gonna have to get over it. But Bowie seems to enjoy living here. He's definitely gotten like territorial of the yard. There are a lot of stray cats in our neighborhood. I don't know if like, well, so according to our previous vet, we used to live on the East Coast in Buffalo, and it's, you know, very cold there. And our vet would always say like, well, cats are desert animals, so, you know, they like, because we had an issue with like one of our cats like not eating that much, and he was like, but they can, you know, they can go for a while without food if they need to. So he kept like, he reiterated that a lot, that they were desert animals, and it never really like, I wouldn't say it didn't make sense, it just like, you know, it didn't really matter because we didn't live near a desert. But now we do, and they're like everywhere. I just thought that was interesting because no one had ever told me that before, about them being like desert animals and equipped to environments like that. Just thought it was interesting. As outdoor cats do, territory is everything. Yeah. He still pees on stuff. We haven't been able to break him of that yet. Fortunately, it doesn't stink. So that's been, you know, an upside. He seems to either do it when, like, something comes into the house that smells different, he will try to squirt it. Or when he gets like really bent out of shape over like seeing one of the stray cats outside, he'll like pee on the window. It's annoying, but like I said, it doesn't really stink, so I don't know if like the neutering has anything to do with that. But at least it's manageable because it's not like a terribly destructive thing. We used to have a set of cats before the ones we have now. We unfortunately lost 2 of them to feline leukemia and then 1 to old age. But one of the other 2, who was also a ginger cat, he must have been like, well, we think he was like traumatized as a kitten. He like, we tried to adopt him, and then there was some like delay, like 6 months or something like that, or 3 months. So he went from being, you know, like a pretty young newborn cat to, he was like not 6 weeks old, 8 weeks old, or whatever, 3 months, 4 months. And he was like real skittish after that. And so anyway, he would periodically pee on stuff, we think out of like, because he was mad about something or whatever, because my partner used to go out of the country to do data collection for her dissertation. And so like, if she would go away for a while and then come back, he would like whiz on her bag, her like duffel bag. And so that was like a big problem. So we like got to a point where like we were getting really frustrated with him, didn't know what to do. Had tried, you know, various things, and like fellyways and all those kind of like maybe it's just like a smell or something. But he kept doing it. So I got really frustrated one night, and I put him in like a little laundry closet, like a little laundry room where washer and dryer were. And so I put like a litter box in there and a bed and some food. And I was like, you're gonna stay in here. And then whenever we leave, this is where you're gonna go, you know. Obviously he doesn't understand English, but so when we would like leave the house for whatever reason, into the closet he went. And he eventually started to like it. So it became like his room. And so when we would go to, this is even like when we would go to bed, he would have to go in there because he couldn't be unsupervised with this like pee and stuff. God, these things keep breaking off. So it got to like after a few months of this, I would be like, bedtime, and he would run into the room, you know, jump up on his bed and be happy. So like he seemed to like it. So it became this thing where like when we moved to a new place, it was like, his name was Milo. I was like, where's where's Milo's room gonna be? So we had to look at find like little closets or little places that were closed off in any place we tried to rent so that we could put him in there. So this went on for quite a while. Well, for a few years, because we unfortunately only had him until he was 7. But by the time we got to our last place, before where we are now, he had like gotten to be pretty much okay, where he never peed on anything anymore, and he didn't need to like go to his room. But it was like just a weird turn of events, and became like kind of adorable. That you could be like, Milo, bedtime, and he would just like run into the room or the closet or whatever he was stationed. And he would just go in there on his own, like throughout the day. Be like, where's Milo? And you'd look around and he'd be in his room, sleeping or whatever. It was pretty cute. Into the closet he went. Cats are weird. It's weird how, I mean, I'm sure dogs are the same way, like their personalities are all different. We've also been fortunate that pretty much all of our cats have been nice. Like, they're affectionate and like to get up on the sofa and cuddle and stuff. Except for Zeus, he's a weirdo. Loves being pet, doesn't want to sit on the couch. He's a goof, but we like him. The closest I'm ever going to come to having kids is these goofy cats, but they're pretty nice. Sometimes you're screaming at them like they are kids, but overall it's worth it. What a hot mess. I don't know what to do with this. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and have faith that it's going to come together. New Nostalgia Out of Context to be a great sub-channel. Yeah, I often will just ignore the things that I'm saying. I'm like, yeah, I know what it sounds like. I'm just going to not call any attention to it. You can take the reins on that one there, Dacitus. And I guess you can just go to YouTube and download any of them, any of the past sessions, and just, you know, edit yourself up a hot compilation. That thing, dang it, I just missed it. I feel like it's been longer than 10 minutes. Maybe my perception of time is just terrible. Yep, it's off. Okay. So I'm gonna put up some under this. I guess I'm just gonna try to build up like bases for these strands to rest on. So I don't have to spend like a couple hours gluing a lot of these back on. So I got one there, one there. So I'm gonna put some stuff there too. Okay. Trying to like see the space that the strand is gonna occupy, and then try to build like a ridge for it to rest on. That needs to be taller. So I can put one here. Oh, shoot. I'm like waiting for this thing to slip out of my fingers and all these things to break off. Wouldn't be surprised in the least. Let's hope it doesn't happen. It's hard to build up mass with this stuff. You gotta like, when I first started using it, it was like you had to put on a little bit and then wait a whole day for it to dry. That was really annoying. But now that I can bake it, it's definitely goes a little quicker. Still kind of slow. You still can't like build up a lot of this at a time. It just doesn't support its own weight very well. while it's in this like paste-like form. Okay, that's one. Let's see if I can build one up here. I have like a version of a plan. I wouldn't really call it a plan, I just have an idea of what the plan could be. And I'm gonna hope that that works out. There should be one there, right? Probably. So let's put a little bit more here. Get it all up. Oh my god, I did it again. I guess we're just gonna assume that all those tips are gonna break off. It's got so many split ends. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Very funny. That seems okay. So he needs up the rest of this stuff. 12% of a plan. 12 seems like a lot. It seems generous. I feel like it's more like I've got like, you know, I like saw a plan while I was like driving to the grocery store. On like it was on the side of the road. And I was like, hey, that's a plan, but I didn't really see it, you know. So I'm like trying to remember what the plan was. I'm like, no, it's like this. I'm like, no, it's not. That seems right. Nope. Get in there. I'm just gonna build this up. I guess I could patch some of the front. This one needs to be like smoothed over somewhat. There's the little gaps filled in. doing that. There must be super glue here because can't seem to get this stuff to go into this crevasse. Like, when I get off the stream, I gotta probably like eat a quick dinner, and then I gotta review a bunch of conversations to see what's going on with this creative discussion thing later. Let's see what I have to do to get ready for that. Once it's going, it'll be enjoyable. This will be the first time that I'm like kind of moderating it, so that's going to be an experience. Hopefully it's not a huge disaster. I mean, it shouldn't be. I always worry a little bit. I'm gonna make it a mess. Once this is done, once I use up this last glob here, I might be able to. I'll see what I can do. I might be able to either pull some stuff out of the tank, but I think it's still too early. I think it's like a 60-minute cure time on the task. But I might be able to pull the ones that are in the oven. They should have cooled down a decent amount. I don't know if they'll be like room temperature warm. So we'll see where that's at. This thing's gotten rather heavy. Can't tell where the super glue is. I know I've tried to glue some of this stuff back on, so there's like definitely a bead of it up here. Just not quite sure where it ends. I guess that's all of it. Well, I can put this in the oven and at least just bake what's on here. Well, I'm gonna stick this guy back in the oven. What time is it? 5 o'clock. Check these molds and see if they're good enough to, or cool enough to open. They're still a little warm on the bottom though. Yeah, that's pretty solid. There's still a little bit of flex in it, but I might be able to pull these, which would be nice. I guess I can still pull them out of the outer molds even if I don't pull them off the shell. So I can still just cool. Well, they'd probably cool faster if they were exposed anyway. Oops. That's definitely not supposed to do that. That piece isn't important though, as long as it doesn't mess up the shoulder joint. Check for stray flashing. I don't see anything, so that's cool. Yank this boy out. Looks good. that's right. This is the one that's in backwards. Shit. Well, you need to stay there until you cool down. Stay in your room until you're cooled down. Cooled down. Cool down. Me talk good. He's gonna actually finish cooling down. They're a little too warm. I'll just leave them in there. No base molds though. Into the closet with you! I have had enough! Absolutely. Daggone mold. I told you! No snacks before dinner. Alright, I can't really mess with these too much until they hit room temp. If I do, I'll just end up deforming them. That'll make me sad. Because I'll have to do work over again. And that's never fun. I mean, this is a different kind of doing work over again, but... Stay there. Let's see. There's something I can do while I'm waiting, so I can use the time constructively. Not really. I'm in that weird spot where I'm like kind of waiting on everything. I think because I have to wait for things in the pot, things in the oven, these to cool. There's not a whole lot I can do right now, so I think I might just end a little bit early today. And thank y'all for watching and coming over on the raid. That was super cool. Made me feel very, very loved and stuff. And also a little terrified, but that's okay. But I will be back. I might jump on over the weekend. I don't know, it just depends what I've got going on. But otherwise, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is my usual schedule. So I'm trying to stick with that as much as I can. So I'm gonna peace out and thank y'all for watching. Thanks, Will. I appreciate it. Bye.